Welcome to today's fantastic tutorial. Today we are going to learn how to create this kind of a scene out of a simple image, which is something like this. Alright, so let's get started. So we have opened this image over here in the Photoshop, and first of all I'm going to create a duplicate copy of it by pressing Ctrl J or Command J, and then I will make a selection of it using the quick selection tool. And let me quickly do this, and I'll be back when selection is done. And now I have created the selection, and this is the cutout which I have made, and let me just adjust it on the proper position, selecting this, or I would just turn this off and select this copy and create a duplicate copy of the background and make a selection using the lasso tool over here. And then I'm going to go to the edit and select fill, and from this drop down menu select content aware and press OK. And it is going to fill it based on the content on the image, and it has done this kind of a job, not a good job, but don't worry, it is going to be helpful us. So go for blur and choose the blur gallery and choose tilt shift, and we'll drag this center over here, maybe on the feet, and increase the blur size whichever you want. You can adjust it using these options or these lines. So maybe over here, and you can try out different light bokeh options and bokeh color options and color range, and if you want you can increase the blur even more. So let's say I'll go for this one and press OK, and it is going to apply on the background. It takes a little bit time because it's very heavy effect. And now let me turn on this girl layer and let me reposition it using the move tool. Let me select this one and drag it over here, and I'm going to resize it a little bit. So I'll press Ctrl T, Command T, and by pressing Shift and Alt I'll resize it and place it over here. Okay, and now let's create a new layer under it, call it shadow, because this is going to be the shadow. And on the bottom I'll paint with the black brush little bit to create this kind of a shadow. So you have to keep the opacity very low to get this perfect effect. Okay, let me zoom in and choose the smudge tool from here, and I'm choosing this brush, and now I'm going to create the hairs or hair spikes little bit. Small hairs we can build so that it looks like proper, or it looks perfect, because selection of hairs takes a little bit time and sometimes we don't get the realistic effect. So using the smudge tool we can create it very easily on the hairs. And little bit over here as well on the eyes, on the eyelashes, and let's do it little bit over here. And now let's select the gradient layer and add some vignette effect, or let's create the sun effect. So I'll choose this linear which has 3 options and choose the radial option and drag the center of the sun to over here and press OK. I need to drag it up over here and change this layer blend mode to screen. And now we'll be having this sunset or sunlight effect, and reposition it to drag it over here on the corner. Okay, and we can adjust the position according to our wish, and then press Ctrl J, Command J to duplicate it, and then double click it. And now with the move tool we can drag it on the back side, on this side, right side, and press OK and lower down its opacity, because on that side we don't want it to have that much of effect. Okay, and select the layer mask, and using the brush tool with the black color, paint little bit on the girl or on this side so that it doesn't look that dark on the back side. And now let me bring in the boy over here. I have already extracted it and place it over here. Reposition it and press enter and create a new layer under it, or reposition the girl first of all. So let me place it something like here. Okay, and then come to the boy layer and let me create a new layer under it. So we'll create a shadow using the brush tool with low opacity of around 20%, and with the black color we are going to paint in the shadows. So you can paint shadows like this very easily. Okay, and we'll select it and create a mask, and with the black brush again we are going to paint in over here to remove these slippers, some of these, so that it looks like that it is actually on this ground and they should not look like they are floating. Okay, and now it looks good, you can see, and paint it a little bit more if you want, and let's see how it looks. And let me select both of them and group them together, called them boy, so that I can easily track them if I want, and drag it down so that we have some light on the boy as well. So we'll select this front light, sunlight effect, and take the brush tool with black color and low opacity around 10%. We will remove it from the right side. Okay, so on one side we want it to be darker since there would be some shadows. Okay, so we are going to remove it from here. Okay, and little bit from this side. So you can play with all these options. Wherever you want the light or wherever you don't want the light, you can use the black color to paint in. And let me use the crop tool to make it a proper composition, because there was so much of space on the right side. So we can do that with the crop tool. And now let's create one gradient layer, and I'm going to use this black to transparent gradient, lower down its opacity to create the vignette effect. And with the black brush start painting on the face so that the face and this light does not get dark. Okay, so we want only the darker effect only on the ground and not on the face or on the top where the light is coming from. Alright, and now bring the all over here and place it on the hand of the boy and press enter. And now I'm going to make a selection of it using the quick selection tool. So use the quick selection and make a selection around it and over here as well. And you can define the selection. If you want to remove something from the selection, press Alt or the Option if you are using Mac to remove it from the selection. And zoom in and resize the brush. Okay, and once you are happy, then go to the select and mask option on the top, and you can play with the opacity to see the result. And you can adjust all these settings like radius, smoothing, etc. And if you want, you can paint in with the brush tool over here. And if you painted something else, you can press Ctrl Z or Command Z, and you can refine the as with the refine radius brush tool. and by pressing Alt you can remove it from the selection, as we have made it selection. And you can define these as well, so you can play with different brushes and different options. Okay, and once you are happy, press OK and zoom in to see the result. And as you can see, right now we have some problems, so we'll take the brush tool with the black color and we are going to select the mask and remove it from here. Okay, so make sure you take the 100% opacity and very carefully start removing this white edge from this bird or this owl. And you can choose the overlay option to remove some fringe. These white fringe can be removed using the same softest brush and changing its layer blend mode to overlay, and then you can easily do all of this. Let's zoom in further and remove it from here as well. Go to the normal, select normal option and then remove these. And it is not necessary that we keep each and everything. We can remove certain things very easily. And now reposition it and place it over here, maybe on the top of the hand, and create a new layer under it and create a shadow using the brush tool with lower opacity, and slowly paint in the shadows. And you have to make sure that it doesn't go outside the hand. Okay, zoom out to see the result, and if you want you can use the eraser to erase this, and then you can paint it again, and you can paint little bit shadow on the t-shirt as well. Alright, now select this layer and choose the smudge tool and paint in the feather using the same technique which we did. Or if it is not working, create a new layer and then use the smudge tool to paint in some feathers all around this owl. And as you can see, this result is really magical, because if we would have done this in Photoshop or in the selection option, select and mask option, it would have taken us lots of time, and there were no feather originally. And now let's go to the filter and choose camera raw filter. So we'll enhance the owl bird and press auto first of all, and increase the exposure, change the temperature towards the warmer side and press OK. And you can see now it has some more light, and zoom in on the shadows, and if it doesn't look good, erase it with the eraser, and then with the soft as brush you can slowly paint in once again. Okay, maybe something like this. And then come to the this all and select all of these and merge them together and call them all. Okay, and come to the adjustment panel and select the brightness and contrast and increase the brightness way too much, and click the clip to the owl mask and select this mask. Press Ctrl I to invert it, and with the brush tool with the white color we are going to paint on the edge or on this side so that it gets some light and we get some rim light on the owl. Okay, and we can paint in little bit over here on the body of the owl as well, and you can see the difference by turning it on and off. And now you can see the child has some problems. There are certain this white fringe, so we are going to remove it. So we'll select the layer mask over here, and again soft edge brush and zoom in further, make a selection, and then press Ctrl I. Or what we can do, we can subtract the selection. So we'll go to the select and select modify and select contract the selection, and we'll contract it by 1 pixels so that the selection gets inside and we get some fringe only. So with the black color soft edge brush 100% opacity we are going to paint in, but before doing that we need to inverse the selection. So let me go back to my history and I'll press Ctrl Shift I to invert the selection, and now I'm going to paint and it is going to remove it from the outside. Earlier it was removing it from the inside, which we don't want. Okay, and you can see the result. So make a selection once again. You can quickly deselect all of thing by pressing Ctrl D or Command D, and if you want to reselect it then press Ctrl Shift D to reselect it. Okay, and let me quickly do this all over the child. And from here as well, and you can see now this one is looking much better. And zoom in again with the soft edge brush, make it smaller and remove it from here around the armpit as well. And doing this we can fix it from everywhere and on the hands as well. And let me go to the top and select adjustment layer, and this time we'll select the color balance adjustment, and let's add the red or play with all these sliders to get the look we want. So you can play with all these settings, and we have clipped it to the all only, and you can see how it looks. And select this shadow layer, rename it so that we can track it later on. And let me just do it once again because I don't like this shadow, and sometimes it happens that shadow doesn't look, then we have to overdo it again and again. Or we can change this color to something dark brown so that it looks realistic or it matches with the scene. And let me zoom out. Okay, that's fine. And now we'll create a merge copy of all of this by pressing Ctrl Alt Shift E or Command Option Shift E, and then we'll go to the edit, purge all the purge options because I'm going to remove all of my memory so that memory get free. Now I'll go to the filter and select Nik Collection and select Color EFX, and now it is going to open up the Color EFX Pro. And I'm going to use the cross processing, and here we have all the presets. So I'll quickly hover over all of these and see which one I like, and I'll go for that. Which one I like, and I will go for that. So choose the different preset which you like. Maybe this one, and we can adjust its strength using this slider. Add another filter and add lens vignette filter and increase the amount because we don't want that much of darkness. And you can try different things, and if they work and if you like the effect you can keep them, otherwise you can delete them. All right. and I will select this bicolor filter, or maybe something like this. I can adjust the opacity. And by pressing compare, I can see the difference before and after, and I will press OK. And it is going to apply. It takes a little bit time depending on the speed of your system. And now it has been done. And let's create a duplicate copy of it, and then go to the filter, select other and select high pass, and make sure select the radius of 1 or 1.5 and change its layer blend mode to linear light. And it is going to sharpen everything, but we don't want that much of sharpening. So for that purpose, what we are going to do, we are going to create a layer mask over it, and using the brush tool with the black color, we are going to paint in on the skin, because we don't want skin to be that sharp. We want the smooth skin, because too much of sharpening does not look good. Okay, or you can even play with the layer blend mode options. So if you want the less sharpening, then you can change this layer blend mode to soft light or the overlay as well. Linear light gives you the more sharpening, so you can do that as well. Otherwise, you can paint it like me right now I'm doing it with the black color, and I'm removing it from the skin or certain part where I don't want that much of sharpening, and I have used lower opacity of around 40%. And now you can see the result. And let me show you full screen. This is the final result, and we have started with this result. This was before, and this is after we have done this amazing editing. So thank you so much. I hope you have learned something useful from this tutorial, and if you like today's episode, please don't forget to hit the like button, and please do subscribe to my channel if you have not already subscribed, and please consider sharing this with others who can benefit from this tutorial. And if you have any question, or you want to share something with me, or if you want to let me know what you think about this tutorial, then you can leave that in the comment section below. And if you want to support this channel, you can buy my pro tutorials with huge discount, and there is a link to that in the description section below. And if you want to follow along, you can download the exercise files for this tutorial, and do share your work with me on my Facebook group, which is called the Lens of You, and you can join that by clicking on the link in the description section below. And I would be happy to have your work over there, and possibly if you want, you can get the feedback from me and other members as well. That is a photography community I'm building over there, so please do join me. So thank you so much. Bye bye. See you in the next episode.